Microphone check 7. If you can hear me, family, anyone out there can hear me, type it as 7 as we begin to operate another scripture study. We'll start short.
Mic check 7.
All right, mic check 7 is good, Brother John. Don't forget to give a thumbs up as it goes around. What's up, Sister Carice? Grace and peace, one love. Welcome to another lesson entitled, I Am That I Am, AHAYAH, aser, AHAYAH. Another clean read. Hail up, Sister Carice. And I know people will be tuning in, probably Mama Greg out there. Hail up to you, and Auntie Elma as well. One love. Let me just take off this banner and get into it. Today's date is the 14th day of the 12th month of Adar for the year 6225 from origination. Happy Purim, who are getting into celebrating this 2-day feast. It's equivalent to Wednesday, January 21st, 2026 at the evening, as it extends over to the 22nd. Here we are on this year's almanac, and as you can see where the arrow is pointing, it is the beginning of Purim as we enter for these 2 days. You know, when we talk about this festival of Purim, you know, we don't put a big issue on it, but for those who do wish to keep it, and many brothers and sisters of our assembly sometimes kind of do their own little thing, and that's all right. And you know, you can get a lot of a read about Purim and Esther. And they're not holy days that we have to rest or anything of that nature. It's not attached to the law, but it's a time, you know, maybe even like for gift giving to the poor, and kind of having maybe a special lookout that way. But you are not, you know, under any kind of obligation to celebrate it. And so if you don't, that's all right. And if you do, you know, may the Most High continue to strengthen you. I acknowledge these days in my mind. I don't do anything in terms of special, like, you know, the gifts and certain things like that, because there's no real ordinances. You can only really copy what they might have did, and that's still a good example. But yeah, so if any of the brothers sisters want to give me a shout, drop by or anything of that nature, feel free to do that. Otherwise, everything is cool. So like I said, we're here. This is day 347. There's 21, not 21 days, I should say. That should be changed to about 17 days left in the year, less than 3 Sabbaths. Here we are again, as you see, very close to the year ending. Reminder that the year begins on the first day of the week, always ends on the 7th day of the week, and the equinoxes and solstices are always the middle. As always, all praise, glory, and honor to Jah, our Father, and His only begotten Son, Jehoshua, the Messiah, the Nazarite, who died for our sins, also respectively known as Yehoshua, Yahusha, Yahawashai, Yahshua, Yeshua, Yeshaya, Jesus, Joshua, the Messiah, HaMashiach, the Christ. All glory to the Father and Son.
Praise Jah.
So again, here we are with another clean read, and as you know, when we go through these clean reads, we want to, you know, kind of stay in the context of the read, definitely see what words can help us bring understanding. And most of all, I always pray for spiritual understanding, because when you, in a topic like this is kind of very, it's a challenging topic, just in the sense that the meanings and the different controversies that go around here on this topic and what it could mean. It's quite challenging. So I'm just going to do the best I can as we go through this study. I've had a partial study of this, but I've updated it lately since Brother Javid and I were talking about things, and we'll get to certain things um, in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you know, in the scriptures, there's different ideas of titles and names, and I just thought it would be good for us to go over that, Brother Javid.
Yes. The word title, a descriptive or distinctive appellation, especially one belonging to a person by right of rank, office, or attainment, etc. The title of Lord Mayor. A name. A name is a word or a combination of words by which a person, place, or thing, a body or class, or any object of thought is designated, called, or known. Frank is his name, and he holds various titles like father, husband, son, disciple, and friend, etc. Mute, Sean.
So hopefully this gives us a good understanding, title, as we know these things in names, right? And when it comes to the Most High, there's great scriptural titles for him. And I mean, just to, list a few here, Brother Javid, if you want to read them off, go ahead.
Yes. The Lord God, God Almighty, God, I am, AHAYAH, the Ancient of Days, the first and the last, the Lord, Lord, Lord of hosts, the Creator, Originator, Maker, Holy One, El, Eloah, Elohim, Master, Adonai, Most High, Almighty, the God or El of Abraham, the El of Isaac, and the El of Jacob, the Holy One of Israel, El Shaddai, El Elyon, the Eternal, Father, Abba, Son, Ben, the Messiah, Christ, the Anointed.
So great titles, and then probably there's even a few more that I might have missed as well. But these are all titles, and I mean, as you can see, there's so much different titles to try to sum up who the Most High is, and that's why he's so great, because he's so many things. And even though his name is Jah, and that's the root form, and it means the most powerful, the most vehement. It's like you need to still use other words and descriptions, just like when you're looking up a word in a dictionary. There's like sometimes for one word there'll be many definitions, and that's the same thing how it is when it comes to the Father. So when it comes to titles, I can't, nobody can really stop anybody from using titles, because many people use them, and it's kind of in that area that nobody really argues about. No one's going to argue. People might have issues about God and the Lord, but in terms of actual, I know they can translate as El and Jah and Yah and Yahweh and Jehovah, etc. For the most part, when it comes to just the titles here, as opposed to names, everybody's okay with that. Ancient of Days, the first and the last, the Messiah, those things. And again, the Most High is many things, just as the Messiah is many things.
Mm-hmm.
Always feel free, if you want to give a comment or question on anything that we're speaking about. Now, when it comes to this understanding, Brother Javed, is that when we get into it, it's good to understand that when we're dealing with translations, and many people know this already, but like, especially from the original Hebrew, and it's been modified and played around with, and a lot of lies, when you're translating from Hebrew into other languages, and in particular, the Gentile languages, not really the Canaanite languages, because they were very similar, and the Hamite languages, but still there's an effect. However, when you get into the Gentile languages like Latin and Greek, there's going to be a challenge with certain words, and there's a certain flavor. So what I, thought to bring this understanding forth a little bit more clearer is that, as we know, there's a book in the Apocrypha, which is in between the Old Testament and the New Testament, and it's called the Wisdom of Sirach, and it's called Ecclesiasticus. And there's a prologue in there, and it talks about how this thing got put together. But there's a section I brought out to bring to your attention that there are these challenges in this area.
Wherefore, let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language. For in the 8th and 30th year coming into Egypt, when Eugetes was king, and continuing there some time, I found a book of no small learning. Therefore I thought it most necessary for me to bestow some diligence and travail to interpret it, using great watchfulness and skill in that space to bring the book to an end, and to set it forth for them also, which in a strange country are willing to learn, being prepared before in manners to live after the law.
Wow, nice description there. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this shows you just as being a diligent student ourselves, you know what I mean? Encouraging us, first of all, as we are receiving this letter, that we read it with, favor and attention, right? And then he's saying, pardon us for some words because they may come short, in this area here when translating things, as it went on to explain. But again, notice that he's labored to interpret, right? And this is very important. This is a laboring work. Interpreting and translating things is not an easy thing. There's
No.
guys who are paid probably millions and millions of dollars to either incorrectly or falsely interpret hieroglyphics and ancient Babylonian and Akkadian writings and clay tablets and all of these things. It takes a lot of work and a lot of labor. So, letting us know that things in the Hebrew coming over into another Greek, you know what I mean? It won't have the same, as it says here, the same force, right? And everything else that you kind of translate, he's talking about, the things of the law of the Hebrews, the prophets, and all these other things. When it says there's no small difference, that means, it's no small means a big difference, understand? And so sometimes, that could be a big difference. And this is why it's good having the Most High Spirit and guiding us. It's like how he did on the day of Pentecost to help in understanding, and interpreting and delivering the language, the message of the Most High into other languages. And so again, he had this book of no small learning. Again, no small means a great, very important. And again, I just want to remind the brothers and sisters, diligence, work, travail means work, to interpret it, using great watchfulness, skill, right? To make something complete, right? And to bring it forth for other people. So my point here is, as we move forward, is that it's so important that, in any work that anybody's laboring in the vineyard, even if you don't have a ministry, but you're a part of a ministry and you're just even reading your scriptures, pay attention, show favor towards it, use diligence, and doing this watchfulness, and of course, apply these things to your life. And I think this is a great way. And this is my approach with this topic.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we know, again, many different titles on here. You can see names of the world. This is a slide. And notice that they don't have Jah, but nonetheless, as we know, that's a name they always kind of like, for some reason, putting on the back burner. But we're going to be focusing on I am. And again, this is for those in the world who, have different understandings of names. I get that. And I'm not disrespecting any understanding. But as we go through these things, just being sure that whatever name you've understood to be the Most High, that you're studying, not just, relying on commandment keeping, but that's our guide to life. But you have the faith and are walking through with the testimony of the Messiah, following his behavior and believing the testimony of the apostles. All right, let me read here, Brother Javed, okay?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
This is from Wikipedia, just to start us off with, this kind of area here. So nothing has been, edited yet. I am that I am is a common English translation of the Hebrew phrase, and they have it there spelled that way in a type of Hebrew, and here as well. Some translate it as EHYEH, aser, EHYEH, pronounced EHYEH or EHYEH, A-R-E-J, and different, again, pronunciations, which appears in the Hebrew Bible in 3:14, Exodus 3:14. The phrase is also rendered as I am who I am, I will become what I choose to become, I am what I am, I will be what I will be, I create whatever I create or what I create, or I am the existing one. The etymology of this word, AHYEH, Asher AHYEH, and also with many, AHAYAH, Asher AHAYAH. And this understanding here is the first of three responses given to Moses when he asked for the Most High's name in Exodus chapters 3 through 13 and 15. The word here, AHYEH, is the first person singular, and it says imperfect form of that pronunciation there, which is Hayah, which means to be, and owning to the peculiarities of Hebrew grammar can mean both I am and I will be. The meaning of the longer phrase Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh or AHAYAH Asher AHAYAH is debated and might be seen as a promise, I will be with you, or as a statement of incomparability, I am without equal. So that's, just what, if you go to Wikipedia now and type in what is I am, this will be the kind of the first paragraph, and then they get into other things. So, in this understanding, we have I am that I am for different understandings. I will be what I will be. Hayah, Asher Hayah, Ehyeh, Asher Ehyeh, and even Ahayah, as Ahayah being a proper name of the Most High, as opposed to a title. Asher Ahayah. And then also, and this is where I want to kind of give in a couple of words here. I am Jah, or I am Yah, that is my name. Now, that was a translation and understanding from our brother and elder, David Ray, who passed away. And it is in his books. And, it's going to be left there. But as I, he had this from a while back. And, I never really got into studies and getting into it with him. And it's something that, as a study, the brothers and sisters of the Zion Assembly, we always refer to that phrase as I am Jah, that is my name, or, just I am Jah. And when the Most High says, I sent, tell him that Jah sent you. Now, the explanation is in David's book. I'm not going to get into the explanations because I want to kind of put this forth to the brothers and sisters of the assembly and Brother David too. Not to say that maybe that interpretation may be wrong, although I think that this study here will give us something to look at and see. But that, I think that if there was a little bit more information that David would have got into, we would have been able to look at this a little bit better together. Nonetheless, that's where I want to come from. Brother Javed, do you want to add anything to this?
No, Brother Sean, let's move on.
Scripture.
Exodus 3, verse 1. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of El, or God, even to Horeb. And the angel of Jah appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord, or Jah, saw that he turned aside to see, El called unto him out of the midst of the bush, and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Draw not near hither. Put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place wherein thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the El of thy father, the El of Abraham, the El of Isaac, and the El of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon El.
Now, so as we approach this topic, I said, you know what? Let me keep everything in context. And so we're kind of dealing with most of the chapter here, and especially the beginning, to kind of give us a setup. So let's remind ourselves about certain understandings. The children of Israel were in Egypt for 400 years. The bondage was a little bit later on, near the latter end of those 400 years, and over time they knew of their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So Moses, of course, knows of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as well, but they don't know much about certain things. They never had no scriptures there or anything of that nature. Anything that would have been passed on would have been passed down orally, obviously, right? And in their bondage. And so they're there doing their thing, and they were probably a part of the Egyptian culture in a certain way. We don't know how far or so, but that's what they lived in, and they grew up in that culture for many years. And now John is now revealing himself. Now it's good for us to know that, when it speaks about this understanding here, at what does it say here? It says Jah appeared to him in a flame of fire. So it's good to kind of look at this as well, that when Jah appeared to him in a flame of fire, it wasn't that Jah himself, or even if you want to say he's the Messiah, was there and there was a body in flame of fire. The whole bush was on fire. So when Jah appeared into the flame of fire, he just saw a bush burning. He didn't see an angel inside of it or anything standing there. It says Jah spoke to him in a flame of fire and appeared to him in a flame of fire. And you'll see, and it says there that the bush wasn't consumed, and the Most High spoke to him out of the midst of the bush, right? Because Moses was going to go around. So now the Most High asks him and tells him, reveals to him, he says, I am the God, the Father of your father, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so when he heard this is when he kind of, recognized, and he hid his face, right? So this is where we're at. So we're at. Brother Javid, anything here? Even the idea of the angel being here is important, because this angel also translates as the word Melech to mean the messenger of Jah. So whether they're referring to the Messiah, or someone say another angel of Jah, more than likely, we know that the Messiah is the great messenger, the word and the logos. I'm not getting into that understanding right now, whether it's the Father or the Son speaking, but as you can see, this is what's going on. Brother Javid, you cool?
Yes, proceed. Yep.
So I want to look at the phrase there. The first phrase he said, Morvi said, I am the El of thy father. So he says that right here, right? He says here, he said, notice what he says, I am the El, right? Of thy father. So, I'm going to look at that phrase, that phrase there, I am. And, in this understanding, man, the translations and translators, you will see manipulations and playing and whatever it might be. And usually when you focus on these small words, that's where I see a lot of great understanding. In Brother Javi, you've heard me speak about that, quite a few times, with these small words like I, which, and me, as opposed to, what does Jehovah mean, or, Zerubbabel, and understanding these big names. It's these small things. So the phrase here for I am is Anoki, and it means I, which, me. It's right here, Strong's H 595. It says I, which, me. It's in the first person singular. It really just means it means I, right? It says Anoki, sometimes Anoki with a Y. It's a pronoun, I, me, which. It's just good to know that, because at other times, this phrase here, I am, and so what they're saying I am means here, when the Most High is using it, saying I am the El, again, refreshing you, I am the El. It's this word Anoki. And when in what I have here is I'm only staying in Exodus chapter 3 when I'm showing certain definitions. So this word Anoki, I, or which, or me, you can see it appears 4 times in Exodus chapter 3. When he says I, or Anoki, the El of thy fathers, and even when Moses says, who am I? Hunaki, that I should go. Exodus 3:12, that I, Anaki, have sent thee. You can see the number there, and behold, I, Anaki. Just again, this is all the time that this phrase, Anaki, which refers to I, which, or me, appears in Exodus chapter 3, and, giving us a good understanding there. All right. Let's continue now.
Exodus chapter 3, verse 7. And Jah said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows, and I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land unto a good land, and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppress them. Come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. And Moses said unto El, Who am I that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, Certainly I will be with thee. And this shall be a token unto thee, that I have sent thee. When thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye shall serve El upon this mountain.
Okay. So I've highlighted a few things as we're going through this study. Again, you see the phrase here, and I am, and you're going to see that that's kind of even, you had the I am with Anaki. This I am here is going to be kind of the same word that we use when it comes to I am that I am. But notice here as well, when we go through down here, it says, very important to recognize, verse 12, certainly I will be with thee. This shall be a token. So the token is that just saying he's going to be with Moses, right? He says, certainly I will be with you, and this shall be a token unto you. He's talking to Moses that I have sent you when you've brought forth the people out of it and serve out at this mountain. So Moses is going to go bring them back. But you see, what's the token that Josh says? What? I will be with thee. Now you might kind of see where I might be going with, but this phrase here, I will be, is also the same phrase that is used as I am.
Okay.
So it says, certainly I will be with thee, right? And this I will be phrase in the red translates as I am, which is haya or AHYEH, or some would say AHAYAH for the I, or I will be. And this is a part of speech. It means to exist or to exist, be in existence, to become, to be, come into being, to become. And so here's the word here again: was, come to pass, came, has been. When we look at the definition, to be, become, come to pass, exist. It even has a term, fall out, to happen, take place, come about, come to pass, arise, appear, become. Pretty much to exist, be in existence. The important words are all over here, right? If we look down low, be, example, means to exist, be, or become. So this word ahaya, it's kind of a unique word here, and it's quite a common word when you see in the scriptures. It can mean I am. If you want to even say somewhere in the scripture where it says somebody else talking about themselves, I am your father, it'll be this word, phrase haya, and all depends on the context. And so this is why you can see when you have words, when you define them, and there's so many different understandings and words that can be that, and phrases, it's really good where this diligence kind of comes in. But when you kind of glean from it, you see that, again, this word, phrase I am, which is a phrase haya, I will be. All right?
All right.
Now, what we have here is, when it says to fall, exist, to be, again, the same thing. This is all the times that in Exodus chapter 3, AHAYAH appears, H1961. Now it says, look at this. Now Moses kept AHAYAH, the flock of Jethro. So either became, he took something or some way, but they've translated this word kept as H1961 as Haya, right? Or Haya, without the ah. In chapter 12, as we just kind of read, it says, certainly Ahaya with thee, right? I will be with thee. This shall be a token. I will be. Exodus 3:14, the most popular. I am Ahaya or Haya. That's I am again. Haya. Again, H1961, I am. Haya hath sent me. Now, we haven't got to this verse yet, but we will get there. But I'm just showing you, again, all these words. Even a phrase, and it shall come to pass. Ahaya, so in the sight of the Egyptians, ahaya, that when you go, so it shall come to pass. Now, my point of pointing this out is, first of all, even going into the definition of this word, haya or ahaya, it's not a noun, right? It's something kind of it's more descriptive. It's not when I say a noun, you see it's a verb. It's not a proper noun. So even to use it as ahaya, there, as a translation, it's a verb. It's saying to exist. It's not saying the person's name is AHAYAH, right? As we start to go through, and you can see again, if AHAYAH is used everywhere else many times, it's used well, it doesn't even show here, but it's used like more than 100, 2, 3, 4, 500 times. It's a common word, which means all these things up top
Okay.
come into being to become. Now this is oh, sorry, yeah, same thing, my bad, let me just move on past that. This is the root word, right? There's a root word of this word haya also. It says to compare 1953. So this is 1953, 1933, sorry, right here. It's the root word of haya, 1961. And again, it means to fall or to be, become, to exist, to happen, right? Properly to breathe, to be, in the sense of existence. Okay. Now, it's interesting when you kind of look at certain words. It's like it's such a small word, be. What does be mean? It's like, how do you describe it? Even for myself, I was like, okay, what is it? What does be mean? It's like I had to look it up. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
find certain words, and this is what I'm noticing, that whether it's older English and English is going through, finding certain descriptive words for some basic understandings is very challenging. And when we go through all of this understanding, I'm hoping that you're putting it all together to um, kind of collaborate the information, because again, we're just looking at this one word. You want to read it, Brother Javid?
Yes. Be, Old English, beyond, beyond, beyond. Be, exist, come to be, become, happen. From Proto-Germanic bijou, I am, I will be. The be root is from pi root bihu, to be, exist, grow. And in addition to the words in English, it yielded the German present first and second person singular, bin, bist, from Old High German bim, meaning I am, bist, thou art. The Latin perfective tense of esse, fui, I was, etc. Old Church Slavonic beiti, or be, the Greek fu, to become, or Old Irish biu, I am. Lithuanian beauty, to be, Russian beat, to be, etc.
Okay. A lot of attachments to this word, right? When you say, when you're saying, to be, right? So again, even thinking about I will be, right? If you just look at that phrase, I will exist, right? I will happen, I was. It's like it's almost like it has a past, present, and future kind of context at times.
Yes.
I be, I will be. And like if you look at the past, I was, right? I think that's where they have their, didn't they have was right here? I was, right? That's the
Yes,
past.
I was.
I was. And then the present tense would be what?
I am.
Right? And the future could be like I will be, or I will, you know what I mean? I will be, as a phrase. Let's
Yes.
continue. And hold on, before you go, a bless up to again all who are joining us on this Wednesday evening. Shout out to Judah Blaze. One love to you, and one love to you also, Starboy. Yeah, man. One love.
Shalom. Shalom.
Thank you always for watching.
Exodus 3, verse 13. And Moses said unto El, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, The El of your fathers hath sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, What is his name? And what shall I say unto them?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And El said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. And El said moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, The Jah, El of your fathers, the El of Abraham, the El of Isaac, and the El of Jacob, hath sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. Go and gather the elders of Israel together, and say unto them, Jah, El of your fathers, the El of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you and seen that which is done to you in Egypt.
All right. Let me just say this is a little bit of an error here because it had the Lord, and it,
Yes, yeah, I
it didn't
figured that.
say the Jah, but it would have said the Lord, and I just put in Jah. All right. Now, let's get into this a little bit. And this is where, understandings and looking into it, and like I say, it's a challenge here. So, right here, you know, it says Moses is saying, when I come, and he says he's going to tell them that El of your fathers has sent me. And they're going to say, what is his name? And what shall I say unto them? Now, as we move through, it's obvious that, this question, all when you're looking at it is what is his name? But believe it or not, what is his name is a little bit, but they don't just mean, and I'll show you, how do you pronounce his name? It's almost like somebody saying, somebody appears and comes on down on earth like like a superhero, and he's holding a hammer. Who are you? I am Thor. Like, who are you? Thor, the thunder god. You know what I mean? He's
Mm-hmm.
identifying he is Thor, but the name attached to him as well, part of our memorial and everything, he's the thunder god. So yes, they want to know his name. And that is all encompassed in this. It's not excluding his name at all, but it's an understanding of what's going on here. So when the Most High speaks to them at first, he says, I am that I am. Of course, we're going to look at it. And then he says to them, thus shalt thou say to them, I am hath sent you. So, I mean, we can see that if people want to say that AHAYAH, the phrase AHAYAH, is what's here at I am or EHYEH in another type of Hebrew, then it would see that it sounds like it's a first name. You
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't say like here, thus shalt thou say to the children of Israel, I am that I am hath sent you, even though he said I am that I am up top, but he
Mm-hmm.
kind of shortens it off and he just says I am. Now, because of this, it's how it's written and strange. I want to go back to like how we understood it, and maybe it still might be correct. But what I'm getting to, even for the brothers and sisters of Zion, we would have here, I am Jah, that is my name, because it would make sense. If he says, what is his name? I am Jah. Even if he said, I am AHAYAH, or any name, doesn't matter. It makes sense. And he's saying, hey, that's what tell him, Jah, AHAYAH,
Mm-hmm.
Yah had sent you. So it seems, as we're breaking it down and remembering this is a conversation, and one of three things that the Most High declared unto Moses, right? This is probably around the second time here. We can't stop here. We have to kind of go through and break it down some more, okay?
All
Like I
right.
said, it's a deep dive here. And so when he goes over, you see, he says, moreover, he speaks to the Most High, and then he says, the Lord, or Jah, El of your fathers. El means God. So he's saying his name right there. It would say the Lord. Others would say Yahweh. I think it's Strong's 3068 is Yahweh. But I use Jah or Yah just to stay from a lot of confusions, whether it's Yahuwah, Yahweh, Jehovah, Yahweh. Jah is to me the root word, and you can't go wrong when you have names Elijah. It's never Elijah Jehovah, Eliyahawa, Eliyahuwa, and so we're cool. So just so you know, when I use Jah, it is or Yah, it is. They say it is the same as 3068, the long version of his name. And I'd like to stick to the shorter version so nobody can pick and say, well, it's supposed to be Yahuwah. Because I know all the Yahuwahs, all the Yahwehs, and all the Jehovahs, they will all agree that Yah or even Jah, even though they might disagree on the letter J sound, they can't argue with that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So, the Most High says something. I want things to stand out. He says, this is my name forever, and this is my memorial. So he's kind of showing two things here, two of the same thing, but his name and memorial. And we have to know what these things are. So he tells them, he says, thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel. So though he said up here, I am at sent, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, maybe he's saying to Moses, say, I am has sent you, and then also say, Jael, the God of Abraham, right? And if he said Jah sent you, the name is Jah, then he might be just reiterating it. But I'm noticing that when the Most High is talking about I am that I am here, And I know kind of it might seem, many Christians might have that certain understanding. I'm not using a Christian perspective, but I do think in some understanding they're acknowledging something that I've seen myself. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
That way. So again, what's standing out to us here? He tells them again the second time, the Lord, Jah, El of your fathers, the El of, has sent me. So we know in a certain sense, Jah, El, Yah, El of, and then we have to deal with the I am that I am. Okay?
All right.
So again, simple thing, I'm even getting to the, just the what, it's Ma, when it, like it, what is his name? Ma, right? And the word for what here can be what kind, how, of what, whatsoever, what, how now, why, wherein. And I found, when you're looking at all these words, it's like, yeah, this is where these guys are playing around, because the word for what is ma and the word for who is me. You understand? And I'm not saying ma, me, but you'll see what I'm saying, that they seem to be crossing over things. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, we see here that we see what? We don't see who, we see how, we see whatsoever. All right. So then also now when we go to this word who, and this is found in Exodus 5. I just came out here just to show in this area. Can you read that, Brother Javid?
Mm-hmm. Moses and Aaron delivered the message to Pharaoh. This is what Jah, El of Israel, says. Let my people go so that they may hold a festival to me in the wilderness. Pharaoh replied, Who is Jah, or the Lord, that I should obey him and let Israel go? I do not know Jah, and I will not let Israel go.
All right. So ask a question here. Who is Jah, right? Who is this Jah? He knows the name. Now he knows the name, but I don't know nothing about Jah. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I never
Mm-hmm.
heard of him. I don't know nothing about him. Who is this Jah? So he's saying I don't know Jah and who is Jah. He's not just talking about the name here. He's also talking about the reputation, the character, the fame. Like, what's this guy known for? You know what I mean? You don't know
Mm-hmm.
anything about him. You understand? Never heard of him before. Rightly so, because he never did. John never revealed himself, stopped revealing himself. I think the last time was with Jacob and Joseph. And then, as you know, 400 years passes by, and that's a long time for people to not, for Jah to be kind of, go in, the background, right? Be hidden.
Yes.
And, looking at this word, who, it's me. And you notice it's H4310. And it's, this is the in areas who is, who, any, whose. Look what it also means. Who, any, whose. What does it also mean?
What?
What, right? Any, whom, who, whose, whom, with that, whoever, whosoever. Notice it says here, as 4100 is of things, right? It says who, and just remember this 4100 in a second. Um, Peculiar idiom also, whoever used with prefix, man, he, him, that, what, which, who. So it says here strong. It comes from an interrogative pronoun as H4100, right? Is of as of things of who. Notice it's saying that, right? So when we go to
Okay.
4100, this is the thing. What does it bring us back to? This is 4100. And I purposely just kind of didn't mention the Hebrew number just to show you that, oh, so they're saying that this who here, you know, kind of links back and is kind of the same thing as 4100. You see it?
Which
And
is
then also
what?
you can see that, what is there as well, right?
Okay.
So again, there's 4100. It means what? It's ma, and this is me. And again, I'm just kind of making you see that it's kind of strange. And you'll even see it's a little bit stranger. This word who, me, it's used as who is, but also it is used as what. Right here, when we look at, look at this understanding here. What is 4310? That's what we just found out. Again, this is 4310.
Mm-hmm.
What is there? And then we have the word who, and it's a completely different word, H834. But when we look at this other word who over here, where it says, oh, Israel, who, it's 4310 as well. So we see that
Mm.
who is 4310 as well. And so is what? What? Do
What?
you know
Okay,
what I mean?
that's interesting.
And who here, is not the same as the who here. You understand? The 4310, it's a different number.
Yeah,
If you want to get into that, and you can see even down here as well, another who. You understand? So, like I said, right off the bat, these things, when I look for these things, know that, oh, so when it comes down to translation and stuff like that, these little kind of words, if we're not using them properly, if it's not used in the context, it can show something a little bit wrong. And so, a
true.
context and a spiritual understanding will help us.
Hmm.
So I'm just pointing out things here. Now, obviously, when we talked about, remember, it says, what's his name, right? And it has here name. The word name is a very popular word, Shem, the name of one of Noah's son. It means name, right? You can see name, it means renown, fame, named, famous, infamous, name, reputation, fame, glory, the name as a designation, memorial, monument, through the idea of a definite and conspicuous position, as a mark or memorial of individuality, by implication also honor, authority, even character, right? What kind of name
Hmm.
does Sean rather have? You know what I mean? Like saying, what's his character? You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay.
um, Named, renown, and report. So again, this word near name re- refers to, in its context, honor, authority, character, fame, renown, report, reputation, memorial, and monument. And this is how I find that this word name is kind of like used in a funny way as well. Like when it even says to do things in the name of the Messiah, and then when people kind of want to argue about that, people say, well, if you're using the name Jesus Christ, if you're using the name, it's not Yahushua, it's not Yehoshua, or it's not Yahusha, you're calling on something different. It's a different God. And I know that kind of is a little thin line there. But when it's talking about that name, it's talking about the authority of who the Messiah is, because his name is going to be translated differently. And let's just get that straight. It's going to go through time. But it's that them believing in the authority, that he comes in the authority. When he says, I came in my father's name, it doesn't mean just because Jah's name is Jah or Yah, and his name is Yahweh Shah, Yahshua, or Joshua, that's what he meant. Because many Israelites would come in his father. Even the name John, Jehonan, has Jah's name, and Elijah. We can go on and on. So he wasn't
Hmm.
just saying, I'm coming in my father's name, and that means Jah's name had to be in his name, although it is, and it does make sense, because that's how the Israelites named each other. But it's, I come in my father's honor. I come in my father's authority and character, and his fame, in him being renowned, in his report, in his reputation, in his memorial, and his monument. Do you understand? All of
Yes.
these are like synonyms to represent high, great things what's behind this word name. Am I making
Okay.
sense there, brother Javin?
Yes. I see that.
All right. You can read this.
Name. A word by which a person or thing is denoted. The Old English nama or noma, meaning name, reputation. From Proto-Germanic neman, source also of Old Saxon namo, Old Frisian nama, Old High German namo, a German name, Middle Dutch name, Dutch neam, Old Norse nafen, Gothic namo or name, from pi, the root, nomen or name. The meaning, a famous person, is from the 1610s, man of name, a man of distinction, is from c. 1400. The sense of one's reputation, that which is commonly said of a person. As a modifier meaning well known, it is attested by 1938.
Right? So, he's a man of name, right? Man of distinction, right? When it talks about sense of one's reputation, not just their
Reputation.
name, right?
Yeah. Okay. Not just a literal name, but there's a meaning behind it.
There's a meaning behind, just like almost all names have a meaning.
True.
That meaning denotes the significance of that attribute of that name designated to whatever it is, right?
Right.
So it can mean a name, but I want you to kind of see, like, a lot of times it means like, so what kind of name does he have? It might sound funny for us to say that in these modern times, but in Old English, it's like, they would say, oh, he's a man of a good name. You understand? And it might sound funny, but it's like, what do you mean his name is good? No, he's a man of good character. You understand? He's a man of good
Yes.
reputation. Okay? So remember these words here that we're learning about. We learned about this word, reputation, right? The estimation in which a person or thing is held. Look at that. The estimation in which a person thing. That's what word reputation is, which also means name, especially by the community or the public generally. Repute, I mean, a man of good reputation. You understand?
Hmm.
Synonyms. What's the synonym for reputation?
Name.
All right, or
Regard.
regard. Kind of. What is he regarded as? Right.
Okay.
Favorable, repute, a good name. To ruin one's reputation by misconduct. You're ruining your name. You understand? Oh, what
Okay.
Sean? Which Sean talk about? Oh, Sean, dirty Sean who thieved my money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Synonyms again: recognition, honor, esteem, renown, distinction, fame. You see what's going on here? You know,
Okay.
a favorable and publicly recognized name or standing for merit, for achievement, for reliability, to build up a reputation. The estimation of a name of being, or having done something, etc., something specified, right? He has a reputation of being a shrewd businessman. You can use any of these names. A name, a regard, a character, right?
Mm. Okay. It's almost like saying a man has a good name or a good reputation. I, s-
Exactly,
I
exactly.
see the connection.
Let's even look at the word renown. Go ahead, Brother Javin.
Renown, fame or glory attached to a person, place, etc. Reputation,
Yeah.
especially good reputation. State of having an exalted name.
Mm.
From Anglo-French renown, Old French renom, or renown, fame, reputation. From renommer, make famous. From here perhaps repeatedly, plus nomer, to name. From Latin nominare, to name.
Mm.
Medieval Latin had renominare, to make famous. Old French renomine seems to have meant name over, repeat, or rename. The Middle English reverb renown, make known, acknowledge, has been assimilated to the noun via renowned. In Old Germany university slang, a renower, German renommist, was a boaster, a swaggerer.
Swagger, eh? Look at them,
That's a different.
right?
Wow.
Yeah. People who boast is like they're bigging up their own name. They're bigging up themselves. So a name is something all about self. You understand? Again,
Yes.
renown. That's in the scriptures, and you could see again the glory attached to a person, right? Who is Jah? I don't know who Jah is. What's his glory? You understand?
That's right. Yes.
Right? When he's saying who is Jah, he's not just saying, I didn't hear the name. He's like, what's his glory? What's his fame? What's his reputation? I don't know of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Report. I'm going to go through this quickly. An account
Yes.
brought by one person to another, right? From Old English, a report, a judgment, to tell, to relate. Informative statement by a reputable source, authoritative account. In law, formal account of a case argued and determined in court, right? The meaning, formal statement of results, a teacher's official statement, the meaning, resounding noise, sound of it, on account of, right? So a report is basically on the account brought on by one person to another. What's the report of Jah? What is his report? You understand? What is his name? Right? It's a report.
Okay.
Now the word memorial, and it's attached to the root word zakar, comes from zakar, but this is zakir, memorial, remembrance. It means memento, a recollection, implication, commemoration. Right? So it means all these things: memorial, remembrance, memory, memento, commemoration. Well, let's look what remembrance means. Remembrance means a memory, a recollection, obviously, um, consideration, reflection, present consciousness of past event, personal experiences, memento, souvenir, a commemoration, remembering, right? So, what is he known for? What's his remembrance? You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why this word? They say the word also means remembrance. Again, the word memorial sounds like renown. Memorial means what's his fame, renown, reputation. You see that word memorial? You never think that, right?
Yes. Okay.
Reputation. You know,
Reputation.
also means what? That word again,
Monument.
monument, right? Or right. Something by which the memory of a person or event is preserved. You understand? How is he preserved?
Mm-hmm.
What is his record? Right? What is his report? You see how we just went over those words? This is his
Yes.
memorial, right? Belonging to memory. What is he known by, right? Meaning a commemorative gesture, monument, in the sense of a written representation of facts. Okay? Then we look at the word fame. That means character attributed to somebody. What is their fame? It really means just like their name. They sound the same, but it means the character attributed to somebody. A celebrity. Look at that again. There's that word, renown.
Noun.
Fame, renown, rumor, talk, rumor, report. There's the word again, reputation,
Reputation.
report, renown, good reputation, right? So again, these things. The word famed means much talked about, spread abroad, right? Meaning from the French fameux, from fame, meaning reputation and renown. Yeah, and just
Okay.
all of this understanding is like, when I believe like when Israelites were using the word Shem, is like it just didn't just simply mean what's his Shem, what's his name. Yeah, they could have meant that. Just like how the word name has many different meanings, it's the same way with Shem here. And in the context, it wasn't just for me. My understanding as we move through. Oh, how do you pronounce his name? There's more like, what's his name? What's his reputation? What's his character? What's his fame? What is he? You know what I mean? If he's going to say he's the God of
Mm-hmm.
your fathers, what more? It's almost like saying, who is he? In the basic sense.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Who is he? Again, a monument means monument from French monument, a grave, tomb, of course, a monument, a memorial structure, memorial record, literally something that reminds. You understand? That's what a monument is. To remind, to bring to recollection, to remind, the root, to think, an enduring evidence or example. Notice it says enduring evidence, right? That's a monument, right? Like a name, structure, or evidence to commemorate a notable person, right? All right. So as I move on now to getting into the again more aspects of it, Brother Javid, again, when it comes to this understanding of what is his name, it just means there's a lot more to it, if you understand, than just how do you pronounce it and what is his name. Okay, because even like I say, Pharaoh said, who is Jah? Well, he knew his name, but he said, I don't know Jah. So it's like he knew the
Mm-hmm.
name, but he knows nothing of him, right? And it's kind of
Yes.
in that same area as like, when Jah is talking to Moses. But let's move on.
All right.
We see here that this phrase many use in the world, I I am that I am, is AHAYAH, Asher, AHAYAH. And because it says I am there, people will say that means AHAYAH. And like I said, one time I felt like, yeah, it should have been Jah there as well. But my investigation says, there's something worthy of looking at in this understanding. So, when people try to use the name AHAYAH as a name, I find that it's kind of incorrect, because if it says I am that I am, it's used as I will be and all these things. It's a phrase, it's a verb, it's an action word, right? Again, look at I am, Haya. It means to exist, be in existence. I'm just kind of bringing it back to our memory, to become, come into being. It's known as a verb. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
The root, we went through this, what it means: kept the flock, I will be, ahaya, 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 it shall come to pass, ahaya. So we're leaving it ahaya now for a second, and let's go to the that I am, right? And this
Mm-hmm.
word that is equal to asher, and it means which, that is, what, who, when, as you look at this word that, when it comes to I am that, I am Asher. You could put an A there for some. They won't use an E, they'll use an A, Ashar, which means which, wherewith, which, who, that which, when, since, as, condition. A whole lot here, you know. But when you kind of look at this phrase I am that I am, and you switch it with all of these words as well, which you can
Mm-hmm.
find in here alike. You got I am that I am which I am what I am. You can get I am who
Who I am,
I am, as I
as
am. I am that which I am, right? You'll see it around here is that which, and you'll see it in another area. That which, that which. I'm going to show it in a verse, anyways. Oh, right there, that which. Mhm. I am that which I am. I am when I am, just using it anyways, right? And I am since I am. So again, just using all of the definitions, plugging them in, and seeing what we're getting from this. You're starting to me, I feel like Jah's not talking about here, referring to like a name right after the bat. He's talking about kind of his essence, right? And which is very hard to describe. And Jah's letting Moses know here that, hey, man, I am that which I am. When Moses is asking, so who should I tell me? What's your character? What's your reputation? What are you all about? Jah's first telling him right after the bat, kind of like in certain ways, I am that which I am, I am who I am. I'm going to go on further, but I'm kind of showing you how I'm understanding these verses. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, when we get to I am that I am, you can see it even throughout in Exodus chapter 3. And never went out of Exodus chapter 3, and I found that there was other ashers in there. So it's like Exodus 3:5, the place, Asher, thou standest, right here. The affliction of my people, Asher, are in Egypt. I mean, which, you see, it says which, it means whereon. It means here, that, and that I am that I am. In here, wherewith, Asher, the Egyptians. And Exodus 3:20, which. So we have again, which 2 times, wherewith. You understand? So this, again, this word that, not referring to a name, is describing something. It's a describing something. It's a connecting something to something else. My wonders, which I will do. You understand? Wherewith.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all the same word, Asher, in the same chapter. So again, Moses said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, say this to the people, I am hath sent me to you, right? So as I get into this understanding here, and we'll look into it as we build, and I mean, it's almost close to sooner done than you think, but I'm finding that this is a very important aspect. And so as we read these things here, I'm gonna read this part here, okay, Brother Javed?
Yes, go ahead.
Let's take a drink of water. Now, the phrase translated "I am who I am" in modern Hebrew, they would say "AHAYAH Asher AHYEH." In Proto-Paleo or Paleo Hebrew, it would be "AHAYAH" or "HAYAH Asher AHAYAH." Now, it would be used in any number of normal situations, as I was saying in the scriptures. You could say "AHAYAH" or "AHAYAH." I am watching the sheep. I am walking on the road. I am his father. This phrase "I am" is in the Bible many times, but when it's used as a standalone description, it has more power, I feel. It means I am is the ultimate statement of self-sufficiency, self-existence, and immediate presence. When Jah says
Mm-hmm.
I am, it's powerful. You see, Jah's existence is not dependent upon anyone else. He is. You understand? His plans are not dependent upon any circumstances. He promises that he will be what he will be. That is, he will be the eternally constant creator as he was from all time. He stands ever present and unchangeable, completely sufficient in himself to do what he wills to do and to accomplish what he wills to accomplish. He is all these things.
Mm-hmm.
See, when Jah identified himself as I am who I am, he's stating simply maybe he's without beginning or end. He always existed. Look at these verses in Revelation that I feel bring meaning to this phrase I am that I am, Brother Javed.
Mm. Revelation chapter 1, verse 8. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith Jah, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty.
It sounds very powerful, but if I was to
Yes,
kind of get
yes,
into this is
yes.
where I'm kind of looking towards. You understand, brother?
Okay.
It goes on in
Verse
verse.
18.
Mm-hmm.
I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. So be it, and have
So
the keys of
the
hell and of death.
go ahead. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and so again, the Messiah kind of, he is the beginning and end too. But this phrase here, he's the beginning, the ending, right? Says Jah, which is, which was, which is to come. He is who he is. He is that one. You understand? And
Yes,
so,
okay.
I feel like this kind of phrase kind of helps to bring forth an understanding what Jah is saying. You know what I mean? You know, he, he is, right? You know what I'm saying? Which is, which was, and which is to come. That's who he is. He's the Almighty. Scripture.
Deuteronomy 32, verse 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God or El with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. If I whet my glittering sword, and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies, and will reward them that hate me.
Wow.
Isaiah 41, verse 4. Who hath wrought and done it, calling the generations from the beginning? I, Jah, the first, and with the last I am he. Isaiah 48, verse 10. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. For mine own sake, even for mine own sake will I do it. For how should my name be polluted? And I will not give my glory unto another. Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel, my called. I am he. I am the first. I also am the last.
Yeah,
Wow.
praise Jah.
Praise Jah.
Some powerful statements, right? Kind of
Very
talking about
powerful.
his self-description of his magnificent glory. It's
Mm,
it's really great here when we're looking at these things. You know what I mean? Assure, him, I am he. You know what I mean? That way, again, you see a lot of the, I am he. Again,
yes.
focusing on these eternal values and qualities of the Most High that sometimes is beyond description of words. So, looking at this, I am that I am which I am what I am. We saw that as well. And even phrases like I am who I am who I was, I am who I shall be, I was who I was who I was who I shall be who I am, I shall be
Mm,
who I was, I shall be who I shall be. These a lot of these different phrases kind of for me are trying to bring that flavor an understanding of what Jah is speaking about, this indescribable thing that Moses wanted to know. Who should I tell him? And I think Jah's first is let him know, first of all, I'm letting you know I am a great one, and you can't really figure out who I am. I am that exists. I am all that. And then Jah goes over to say, all right, here's my name, Jah, because that's a part of what Shem is. And then it leads more to describing his
mhm,
name, right?
mhm. Okay.
Now, this is interesting what we see in the Brenton's Septuagint, brother. This is what their word for word never changed a thing.
Okay. Exodus 3, verse 14. And God spoke to Moses, saying, I am the being. And he said, Thus shall ye say to the children of Israel, the being hath sent me to you. Interesting.
Wow. Very interesting. I mean, remember, if we look at, well, first of all, let's look at this word being. What does it mean? Existing,
Existence.
right? Condition, state, circumstance, fact of existence. You understand? Existence, the sense
Mm-hmm.
of that which physically exists, a person or thing, right? And we're not talking about a thing here. We're talking about Jah, right? I am being. I am eternal. You understand? Kind of the same thing. I am the self-existent one. And again, remember what that word be is. You know what I mean? Again, be exists. We went over that definition before. Again, though,
Yes.
as we bring it around, we can see that this is quite a unique translation here.
Yes.
So, when getting into this is what I'm getting to here. I am that I am, or I am who I am, is a divine self-declaration. And I got this from the internet and I want to say this first of all, I searched it out, not to use, because, Google has their kind of AI thing. So I know, AI is out there, but what I find is good is that AI, as with everything, it can kind of organize the information that you want when you direct it to a specific question, so on and so forth. And then, of course, you use the scriptures, and wisdom to see if those things are true, just like a website, right? And I find that these statements here are what I've typed in and looked for a response from AI. You understand? And
Okay.
and they've given it. You want to read it?
I am that I am, or I am who I am, is a divine self-declaration from God in the Bible. Exodus 3:14, translated from the Hebrew AHAYAH, Asher AHAYAH, signifying self-existence, eternal presence, self-sufficiency, and the ability to become whatever is needed. It reveals God's unchangeable nature and infinite power, transcending time, and serves as a promise to be present and act as a deliverer for his people.
Well, that's a powerful statement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Go ahead.
Key meanings and interpretations. Self-existence and eternity. God is stating he simply is, without beginning or end, the ultimate reality and source of all being. Unchanging presence. He is the constant, ever-present one, existing in the past, present, and future beyond human comprehension of time.
Wow.
Oh,
Continuing.
okay. Action and promise. More than just a statement of being, AHAYAH, Asher AHAYAH, implies I will be what I will be, or I will become what I choose to become, promising to act as needed for his people. Ultimate reality. It's a declaration of absolute truth, power, and constancy, revealing his nature as the existing one. Context in Exodus. God used this phrase to introduce himself to Moses as the one who would deliver the Israelites from slavery in Egypt, showing he would fulfill their needs.
You can give.
In essence,
You can.
sorry,
you can
go ahead.
change. So you could change God. You could jaw him up still, or L him up.
Okay. In essence, it's a profound declaration of Jah's eternal, self-sufficient, and active nature, defining himself as being itself, rather than a limited concept.
Again,
Okay.
good understandings. So we have this again. That is Asher. In the Greek, though, the Greek word for Asher is Aimi. The mi is me, Aimi, which is used in Exodus. It's also used in 1 Corinthians 15, chapter 10, as we come near this end here. So this phrase I am is Aimi. And why I bring it up is that this is what we see in the King James Version in 15 Corinthians. If you can read that, brother, go ahead.
1 Corinthians 15:10, but by the grace of Jah, I am what I am. And his grace, which was bestowed upon me, was not in vain, but I labored more abundantly than they all. Yet not I, but the grace of Jah, which was with me.
That's right. So this word right here, pointing to right here, dealing with I me.
I me.
To it. So I am is I me. It almost sounds like I am, but I me. I am I me. Yes, I. We say I.
Yes.
But anyways, this I am that I am, again, it means I me means to what? To be, to exist, to happen, to be present. It's the first person singular, present indicative, a prolonged form with I exist, used only when emphatic. I am or I have been. It is I was, right? I'm here, it's me, I'm present, I was, I exist, it is I. This is what you're getting from this understanding here with this word, I me. You understand? I me. No, I'll read this part here, brother. I am what I am means accepting as a normal general statement. This has nothing to do with just things. But I am means accepting oneself fully. Like that's what Paul is saying here about himself, when he's saying, I am what I am. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with the phrase that Josh said, but when he's using that phrase, it means accepting oneself fully, flaws and all, signifying authenticity, self-sufficiency, and a refusal to change for others. Often used to say, this is who I am, take it or leave it. Though it also
Mhm.
has deep biblical roots as Jah's self-declaration of eternal, unchangeable being, it's a statement of self-acceptance, acknowledging inherent traits, habits, or personality that are difficult or undesirable to alter. So when Paul was saying, I am what I am, he was just accepting who he is, you understand? And letting people know this is
Yes.
who I am. Again, a common meaning and uses. Go ahead, Brother Javid.
Self-acceptance, embracing your true self, including weaknesses without apology. Authenticity, being genuine and true to your nature, not conforming to societal expectations. Unchangeability, acknowledging that certain characteristics are fundamental to who you are and won't change. Self-reliance, a declaration of being a complete, independent individual.
Mm. I believe, Josh kind of set something in motion when he used this phrase, because this phrase is used in many different ways, you understand? And you can
Hmm.
see, even when we look at the definition of when it refers to Jah alone, it still has that same kind of context, even when you're dealing with yourself, accepting who you are, your traits. This is who you are. It's like saying, this is how Jah made me. You understand?
Yes, okay.
So let's look at the what in I am the what. Did I put Imai? Oh, I think I made a mistake here. The what is hos. So forgive me for that, okay? I forgot to
Okay.
change it. So it's the what. I put Imai when what is supposed to be the that. But it means
Okay.
who, which, what, that. Hos, right? Who, which, what, that, one. You see, so you got who, you got what. Again, remember that, what is his name? Who is he? That kind of understanding. Again,
Hmm.
if you're looking at the phrase, taking these words, what they mean, again, you get here, I am who I am which I am what I am that I am. Same kind of concept, dealing even when you're dealing with it, when you're dealing with the Most High, right?
Hmm.
So let's look at some translations, old translations, before the King James. You will see here in this, it's called the Purvey translation. Paul is saying, by the grace of Jah, I am that thing that I am. You see the difference? Right?
Hmm.
Tyndale, by the grace of Jah, favor of Jah, I am that I am. Right? Geneva Bible, I am that I am. The King James, as we just read there in the Corinthians, same thing as here. I am what I am. So we can see that the I am that I am and the I what I am, very, transitional. You understand? Kind of giving a
Yes.
little bit more flavor to that. I am that I am is like I giving just again furthering our understanding of this kind of ambiguous phrase. I mean, there's even a phrase you talk about somebody else. Somebody said, "Hey, man, you know, that's David there. Why is he always working out, man?" Well, David, man, he is who he is. Get what I'm trying to
Okay.
say?
Yes.
Or it is what it is. You ever heard that phrase too, right?
It is
Many
what it
people
is.
use
Yeah.
it. It is what it is. It has that
Yeah.
same flavor. It's a phrase
Okay.
meaning someone's nature, characteristics, or situation are fixed and shouldn't be questioned or changed. Do you see that? Often used
Mm.
to accept reality or a person's unchangeable self, though it can sound circular or shallow if not used carefully. It implies an inherent essence, something suggesting a deep, true self, but can only be a cliche for accepting stubborn realities or people. Again, the common meanings context, acceptance of nature. Again, it can mean someone or something possesses a fundamental quality that defines them. Like a leopard can't change his spots. Remember that one there too, right?
Yes. Yes, I remember.
It is what it is, right?
It
You
is what
understand?
it
The
is.
leopard is what it is. It is who it is. Resignation. Used to accept an unchangeable situation or person, like saying he's stubborn, but he is who he is. Deep meaning. Some feel it's profound, pointing to an essential truth, while others find it a tautology, defining something by itself that lacks actual information. Religious context in Christianity, it echoes just self-revelation of "I am who I am," as in Jehoshua's identity or the nature of Jah. So again, tying back to these things, you understand? Looking at the 1 Corinthians 15 Old English translation here, the Wycliffe again, just giving some understanding. I am that thing that I am. I am that I am in the Tyndale again, the Kramer. I am that I am. Again, King James says, I am what I am. The Geneva, as we kind of went through before, I am that I am. The Rhames Bible, I am that which I am. You see that? Again, talking about
Okay.
what Paul is saying, right?
Yes.
Again, I will be what I will be expresses acceptance of one's unchangeable future, right? I am what I am. I will be what I am who I am. I'm just trying to, there's so many different ways to say this thing here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Uh, unchangeable self, destiny suggesting surrender, fate, while also hinting at determination or acknowledgement that one's identity is a process, often linked to the biblical I am that I am, meaning just self-existent nature, implying continuity, self-definition. It could mean I'm just going to be myself, whatever that turns out to be, or I'll deal with whatever comes my way. Again, fatalism, it can mean acknowledging that certain events are beyond one's control, right? It'll be what it is. You know what I mean? It will be what it will be. Acceptance, a declaration of being true to oneself, similar to I am who I am. Oops, sorry. Again, divine nature in spiritual context. Translation of Jah's name, AHAYAH or AHAYAH from Exodus. Self-sufficient existence. Sometimes used as a way to give up trying to force a situation, where there's a will, there's a way kind of talk. You know what I mean? It is where it is. Again, the Coverdale Bible, what does it say? It says, I will be what I will be. But then it goes on to say, and he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel. Look what he says. I will be hath sent me. Wow. That's what it's, this is, because in case anybody couldn't see clearly here, this is the phrase that's translated I am that I am, means it's translated I will be what I will be, and I will be hath sent me. I made a mistake there again, but you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In the same Coverdale Bible, when it comes to that, the Paul verse 15, verse 10, look what it says. I am that I am.
I am. Okay.
So, it's like back up here in the King James, it said I am that I am, but now it says I will be, and he says to him, tell them I will be had sent you. It sounds weird to us, but they translated it as this way, meaning reflecting on this eternal nature of the Most High. And again, someone say same Bible, same Coverdale, two different instances translating that phrase, I am that I am, differently. The Matthew's Bible, again, same era here. I will be what I will be. Tell the children of Israel, I will be did send me unto you. And then over also in the side note, I will be that I will be. That is, I am, as some do interpret it. They interpret it means I am the beginning. You understand? Meaning again, referring to something eternal. I will be what I will be. In the Corinthians part again, I am that I am. Again, same Bible translation, giving you almost a good understanding of what this phrase really means. The Taverner's Bible, this is really beautiful too. So it says, look at it, says here, up here, I am that I am, just like the King James. But then he says, tell the children of Israel, he that is did send me. So again, it says, I am that I am, but then it goes on to say, where it says, I am had sent you, and it says, I will be has sent you, he that is did send me. And that's even a good phrase too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just kind of just distinguishing something here. But I like this side note here. It says, I am that I am, that is to wit, I am ever, this means without, I am ever without end, unchangeable, for nothing is a being of itself. I love this phrase. I am ever without end, unchangeable. And it's again a powerful statement. And these side note that these guys were using, they were very diligent back then. You know what I mean?
Yes. Isn't there a scripture somewhere where it says Jah refers to I change not?
That's right. That's another one. That's right.
I'm starting to see where you're going. Yes.
And his immutable power and all them things there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Again, where they translated up here, I am that I am. That's all right. But they put he is that is. But even with Paul's, also they put I am that I am too. So now you have here I am that I am, and up here I am that I am in this translation. But they put he that is as sent them. Again, very interesting, you know. Again, it is what it is. A situation is unchangeable and must be accepted, often with resignation as a way of saying, deal with it, or that's life. Acknowledging powerless over circumstances like a difficult loss in sports or anything, you know. It is what it is. I saw it go, you know what I mean? I saw it set up. Again, acknowledging that a situation is fixed beyond our control. Um, saying something stating that something is simply the truth, no matter how inconvenient. A tough loss, we played hard, but it is what it is. Facing a bad grade, I didn't study enough, so it is what it is. I'll study more next time. Dealing with an imperfect situation, the flight is delayed, but it is what it is. We'll get there when we get there. You see that again, you know?
Yes, yes, yes.
So this is what I'm thinking, you know, this verse kind of just, you know, putting in a simple way how I would read it. And you could read it. You don't have to read the brackets, just read it how things go.
All right. Exodus 3, verse 13. And Moses said unto El, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, The El of your fathers hath sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, Who is he? And what is his name? What shall I say unto them?
You see what I'm saying that they're kind of getting at? You understand? So I put
Mhm.
in the who is he, obviously. And I'm not, this is not going to be a translation. You understand, Brother Javid? You know, but I'm saying, I'm trying to bring forth my understanding in the verse and just putting it in there, right? You understand?
Yes,
Continue.
because the children of Israel wants to know, well, who is this El of
Yes.
our fathers who brought us out of, who's going to bring us out of Egypt? So
Mm.
them asking him what is his name would imply also who is he?
Ah,
Because they don't know Jah yet.
that's right. Continue, brother.
Verse 14. And El said unto Moses, I am who I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, He who is hath sent me unto you. And El said moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, Jah, El of your fathers, and the El of Abraham, the El of Isaac, and the El of Jacob hath sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this shall be my memorial, and this shall be my memorial unto all generations.
Praise Jah.
Praise Jah.
You know, we went through all of that, and I have no problems. You know, that study's out there for people to reflect. It's almost like a presentation to the brothers and sisters, even to you, Brother Javed. And I wanted to just be something of a consideration of how I kind of was led in the study. You know what I mean? As I get the thoughts. And this verse here is the last slide, but this verse kind of gives a lot of addition to it as well.
Okay.
Last slide.
Isaiah 43, verse 10. Ye are my witnesses, saith Jah, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there was no El formed, neither shall there be after me. I, even I, am Jah, and beside me there is no Savior. I have declared and have saved, and I have showed, when there was no strange God among you. Therefore ye are my witnesses, saith Jah. I am El. Yea, before the day was, I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it?
Or stop it. Yeah.
Thus saith Jah, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. For your sake I have sent to Babylon and have brought down all their nobles and the Chaldeans, whose cry is in the ships. I am Jah, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King.
Praise Jah.
Jah.
Yes. Praise Jah. All praise, glory, and honor to Jah, Yah, our Father, and his only begotten Son, Jehoshua the Messiah, the Nazarite, that died for our sins. You know, I hope you got an understanding from this, and this is something I just want to share. And I feel this is a great thing that the Most High is just kind of reminding us about these things. You can't kind of put him in a box or anything of that nature. His depths of who Jah is great, even though he's willing to reveal many things to us.
Jah is who he is.
Yes, Brother Javed. So, Again, we speak of these things, and I hope this kind of study helps to bring, some clarity to even look at these things and over, you know what I mean,
Hmm.
as we compare,
Definitely.
and also to the brothers and sisters out there as well. Hey, shalom, Corey Robinson. So again, I want to thank all the brothers and sisters who kind of tuned in on this topic here. You know what I mean? I am that I am, Ahaya, Ahaya, Ashahaya. We went through it. It's kind of, I know it's a technical study that way and an understanding, but I think it's something great. It kind of lets
Hmm.
me even appreciate the greatness of Jah, as you move forward. And when Jah appeared to Moses in the fire, you know, Jah's a consuming fire. You know what I mean? And everything when we read about the Most High in heaven, his fire is always around him. The eyes are like fire. So this great fire is it's almost even indescribable. He's an unquenchable, consuming fire, and Jah is the most powerful. The name Jah itself, or Yah, as you will see, it's a contraction from what they would say is Jehovah or Yahweh, right? The Father's name means most powerful. And I even saw how the blue letter Bible, I don't know if they saw our lesson, but they updated, their thing on Jah. Before it was just
Yeah.
only Jah, there was only 49 translations, and then they even added vehement as one. So it only said
Mm.
before Jah, Jehovah, the proper name of the one true God, names beginning with the letters JE, and just for your information, JE and JO as well, and JA, and names ending with IAH, and it's right here, used as most vehement with reference to the flame of Jah.
Yeah.
And that verse is found right here, where it's talking about this phrase, most vehement. And it says here, set me as a seal upon thine heart, as a seal upon thine arm. For love is as strong as death. Jealousy is as cruel as the grave. The coals thereof are coals of fire, which hath a most vehement
Most
flame.
vehement
It,
flame.
it would say it's saying it would have which hath a Jah flame. You understand?
Mm.
As a Jah flame, a most vehement. And this word most vehement is this word vehement here is marked by great energy, or exertion, or power, or force. It's almost like this saying, it's when you say the most high, that's what you're saying. The most high is the strongest, most energy, most everything. So Jah
Yes.
is the most powerful. He is the most high. And that's what Yah means for those people out there who want to know that. And you can find the name Jah or Yah in Psalms chapter 68, verse 4, which is a
Okay.
great verse to read. Very clear. Sing unto
Mm.
God, sing praises to his name, extol him, let write upon the heavens by his name, Jah,
Yeah.
and rejoice before him. The most vehement, most powerful. Well, all right, brother Javed. Oh, sorry. Yes,
Yes.
brother Javed.
Amen.
Hmm.
Very good study, Brother Sean.
Mm,
Definitely gives some clarity and insight into that Exodus verse there.
mm-hmm. Thank you. And again, may the Most High continue to strengthen us all. Sister Curry, Sister Andrea, Corey, Starboy Altan, Judah Blaze, and Sister Curry's. Shalom to you, and share this. I think this is a powerful study for those to look into it. And so, what I'm saying is, in this verse here, as we look into it, hey, what you doing, cat? As we look into it, I feel that it's not referring to the name of the Most High, and in saying that, although I put on my chart and respected other people use the name AHAYAH, I really don't think AHAYAH should be like a name. It's almost like saying the Father's name is the Most High. It's a title given to him, but he, and again, if you want to use the name AHAYAH, like how you use it as Most High, then go ahead. But Jah is the Most High. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
it's almost like you wouldn't say AHAYAH or Jah. Well, never mind. But AHAYAH, people use it, so I'm not going to fight that and Yeshaya. But I do feel it's not a proper name for the Most High. But again, it's still a very important title. He is AHAYAH. You know what I mean? He is the one
Yes.
who exists and who will be and who is, who was and shall
Mhm.
be.
Yes.
That's kind of what that name AHAYAH kind of brings all of that in there. So I
Yeah.
respect that term.
Yes. It's a description of who Jah is.
Yeah. Mm. Praise the Most High.
Yes, praise Jah.
Bless up, Sister Andrea. All right, Brother Jabin.
All right. All right. Give thanks, Brother Sean. Brethren and sisters listening in, have a good rest of the week. Stay warm.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be cold, but stay warm. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's soon start warm up, man.
Yes.
And don't forget to
All right.
tune in, of course, on Sabbath. This Sabbath coming up in particular as well. Every Sabbath from 4 to 6, and during daylight time, daylight savings time, it's 5 till 7. And the next couple of weeks, we're focusing on Jah's calendar. And I've been getting pretty good feedback from the last lesson too, Brother Javid.
All right. That's
The
good to
barley,
hear.
with the barley, you know.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right.
Jah, New Year is upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Again, have a good week, everyone. One love. Out.
One love. All right. Give thanks. Bless up, everyone. Shalom. Be good. Take care.